My name is Hayley. I'm my co-host.
Here's Michael. Good evening. Hello.
Please remain seated. You are now entering the Nerd Bunker.
Hello, and welcome to episode 8 of the Nerd Bunker podcast. If you've not listened to this podcast before, it's a general roundup of us talking crap with some nerdy things poked in occasionally. So we are going to start, as we do every episode, with a little roundup of what we have both been doing this past week. So, Michael, what have you been watching, reading, listening to? You haven't been anywhere, so there are no visits. How have your hobbies progressed?
We've been locked down. I've been working very slowly. I just seem to be busy.
Yeah.
I know it gets a bit boring saying that every week, but...
You've got a life. This is part-time, yeah?
Just the way it happened, yeah. Part-time nerd. What have I watched? So, I think it was on Sunday I watched a BBC documentary about Stonehenge.
Oh, okay.
Presented by Dr. Alice Roberts, I do believe her name is.
Mm-hmm.
And it was to do with how they think that Stonehenge is actually a second-hand monument. And that it was brought from Wales.
I think I saw
because they were looking
a
in
news
how
thing
they've
on that.
moved the bluestones. And they've actually found that some of the post holes line up with stones that were at this stone circle in Wales.
Yeah.
And they seem to think that as the tribe moved from Wales into Wiltshire, they actually brought the monuments with them.
Bloody hell, that must have been long.
Which I thought was quite interesting.
How far is Wales to Stonehenge? I mean, that's got to be...
It's good couple of 100 miles, I think.
Yeah. I mean, in a smaller way, this sort of harks back to what we were saying, I think a couple of episodes ago about the pyramids and how the hell did they build something as, enormous. But if they've proven that you can drag a big ass stone from Wales to whatever county Stonehenge is in, there's
Wiltshire.
ways and means. Wiltshire, yeah. There's ways and means, is there not?
I've been watching a YouTube video called "'Twas the Devil."
Oh.
I think I sent you a WhatsApp message about it today, but it's I've only just sort of found it. But it's a folk horror choose your own adventure. So you watch the video, and at the end of the videos it'll normally say, "Oh, we recommend these videos."
Yeah.
But what it does here is it says, "Oh, will you speak to A or will you walk to so and so?" And you select what video you want to do next, and it plays you a different video.
That is so cool.
It is really good, actually. It's all shot in black and white, and it's like an English horror, an English folk horror.
Did you say it's on YouTube?
Yes.
Okay,
"'Twas the Devil." Listening to, I've just started The Wheel of Time, book number 5, The Fires of Heaven. I'm very much looking forward to that. I'm still reading Dark Harvest, probably about halfway through it now.
Is it
other than that, I've just played a couple
of as you would hope it to?
Yeah, it's
sometimes
all
when I
right.
read a book, it's a bit.
It seems it's a bit of a Warhammer horror for maybe the younger reader. It's not what I'd call a horror, but it's
young adult, I think they call them, don't they?
Yeah. But yeah, it's all right. Other than that, I've played a few D&D 5e games, which I think you were in most of them.
Any more deaths?
No.
I'm never going to let
Nearly,
that go.
but
Murdering my character. That's why I want to do like some... I want to do some D&D tutorials, because I just want to say, look, don't spend too much time building a character. Don't put your love, sweat and tears into this character that you're building with a backstory that's 25 pages long, because your DM will kill you off.
No, well, these monsters are big and nasty. I spent weeks building up how bad the Shadow Realm was.
You did, in fairness, you did. And I kind of don't mind, you know, I'm sort of taking the piss a bit, but I kind of don't mind that your character dies, because it gives it a sense of realism, yeah. Because I think playing a character in a game where you basically know you're never gonna die, sometimes I think you may make decisions based on that, and you think, oh well, he's not going to kill me off, is he? So I'll go charging up to the dragon with my dagger and stab it in its toe and run away, you know. Whereas I know playing with you'd be like, she's fucked. So I'm not going to do it.
Only to a degree. I let you get away with murder, not just you, all of you.
Yeah. No, it's fun. You know, like we've said before, when you're playing, it's the story in it, and I think if something happens and you basically deserve to die, then you should. So,
I mean, I love gritty realism.
Yeah, I've never played a game like that, but I would like to.
That game wouldn't suit how we play at the moment.
Yeah.
So, as we've all got to enjoy it, it seemed pointless doing a gritty realism.
Yeah.
But I've been working on a dark fantasy one. I found this new setting called Grim Hollow, made by Ghostfire Gaming.
Not and
it can be quite grim and gritty if you choose it to be, but I think I'd take it more down the dark fantasy side of things than pure gritty realism.
Yeah.
Because you kind of need a degree in medieval armour to decide gritty realism.
Yeah.
And it just gets a bit more bookkeeping. What have you been doing?
Bit of watching, no reading. I've tried to pick up a couple of different books recently, and I just can't get my head in it. I've tried a couple of different styles of things. And
have you finished Have you finished with the blinds down or whatever it was?
No. What's it called? Hang on, I've got it here. Afternoons with the blinds drawn. There you go.
Yes.
No, I don't. It's just I'm not in a reading vein. You know, like I said before, if I get into a book, you know, I sent my 70-year-old mother to Tesco's to get the second one because I was like so into it. It's like, go to the shop, woman. But if something don't grab me,
please.
I feel like that about the PS5. It's like, you know, my other half made a joke about it today. If it weren't for our little boy playing it, we'd sell it because nothing is doing anything for me. I tried with Cyberpunk again, and I was bored, and it's not engaging me. And, you know, all I do is stick Red Dead on and have a little, you know, stab a few people and get a few fish and piss about for a bit as a form of relaxation.
So what you need is a Great British Bake Off game.
Yeah. I used to like the Great British Bake Off. I watched the very first series when it was on the telly, and when it moved to Channel 4, not the same. Not the same. And apart from that, it's too good now. When I first, we're actually talking about the Great British Bake Off here. When I first started watching it, the first few series, you know, it was Sandra from next door who likes making scones, right? And she was having a crack at all these fancy things, and sometimes it turned out great and sometimes it were like dog shit. Now they've got these bloody Instagrammers going on and people that are good anyway, and it's just not fun. There's like no challenge. I just no, it's not doing it for me. So I didn't watch the last series. I don't know if you actually watch it at all, or were you just funny?
My other half does. I've seen bits of it, but it's not really my thing.
Yeah, it was a really good programme, you know. I even got in watching it, some old ones, because you'd be sat there like going right into it like, oh look, Mavis's scones aren't going to rise, I'm telling you, she's not done it right. But no, it's lost its lustre for me.
I've got a Mary Berry story. I've actually met her.
Have you? Oh right, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
I'm all ready.
I was at a fete. Start again. I'm getting excited. I was at a fete down in Devon with my mum and dad.
Yeah.
And she opened the fete, and I was such a cute little baby. She came over and said hello. And every time I see her on the
recently,
TV, I say
then.
to my daughter, "Oh God, no." She was probably the same. She was probably the same age I am now.
Oh God. No, I thought you meant like you'd seen her recently.
I've still seen her. I tell my daughter every time I see her on TV, I would tell you about the time I met Mary Berry. And she's
you
like,
don't remember
shut up,
because
Dad.
you were a baby.
No.
Obviously.
Yeah, I was in a pram, but I was well cute.
Oh, what went wrong? That was too easy.
I'm hurt now.
Oh, I'm sure you are. I
got old.
Yeah, tell me about it. Oh, excuse me. Anyway, I digress, as I constantly do. I think that must be a personality type. I've watched bits and bobs, as I normally do. My Octopus Teacher. It's on Netflix. It was a bit of a randomer, and it would be really easy to sort of rip it and say it was a bit of mushy nonsense. But to anybody that has any sort of a pet that they like, love and feel genuine affection for, then I think you'll get it a bit better. Basically this guy, I think he's South African. He's what do they call it? Burnout. I think he's a wildlife photographer, so he's going through a bit of an emotional trauma, and to help heal himself, he like stops work, and he just starts going. Do they call it free diving when you've only got a snorkel and no gear, no wetsuit, no tank?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's obviously something he's been doing like all his life, so he knows what he's doing. He's like doing it every day. It's like his meditation kind of thing. And he basically makes friends with this octopus. Right, not a massive one, obviously, just, you know, kind of hand size, not the creature from the Black Lagoon. And he gets to the point, you know, where he sort of like, because octopuses, octopi, I think they're supposed to be like one of the most intelligent animals in the sea or something. I remember reading or something about it.
I read an article about them where the article basically said they were like an alien life form.
Yeah.
In that their DNA and everything is nothing else on Earth sort of thing.
And they've got the cognitive ability to be able to advance far superior to what, you know, we consider ourselves at the top of the food chain, so to speak, being, you know, consciousness and what have you. And octopus have this ability as well, apparently. And you just watch this bloke go swimming every day, see this octopus every day, and eventually it gets to a point where like it puts one of its arms out to touch the human, and they build up this friendship. It's a bit mental, and I don't know if, what's that word, when you anthropomorphise onto things and you see emotions that aren't there. So there probably is a little bit of that. But cut a long story short, he ends up losing it and then finding it again. And then I'm not sure what their lifespan is, but when they mate and the female has babies, the female basically dies like straight afterwards. And this bloke was proper cut up about it, and it was really sad. But yeah, it was just, I don't know, idle programme to watch, but it was really interesting. And I do like a bit of nature documentary. Another documentary I watched was way different. It's on Netflix again now. It's called Connected: The Hidden Science of Everything. And episode 1 was called Surveillance. And it kind of showed you positive sides of facial recognition, and how it's being used to track animals in the wild and what have you. And I think they were on a pig farm, and they were using facial recognition software to figure out when the animals were happy or sad. I don't really eat meat anyway, but if we are going to eat meat, then obviously I think that animals should be kept in the best situation possible. And by figuring out if the animals are happy or sad with this facial recognition software, then we can learn how to look after them better. You know, I mean, they're still going to get at the end of the day, but if they've had a happy life, it's got to be better.
Is that pig smiling?
Well, yeah, basically. I'm all right. But then they sort of went, you know, a little bit Big Brother, and looking at facial recognition software being used to track, you know, us. And literally every image you put on the internet of yourself is like scraped by these, I don't know, internet bot things, and they're building up this humongous database of all of our faces. And I'm not particularly bothered. I tend to go on the side of I ain't got anything to hide, so you want to look into me, then crack on.
Wasn't that there was a challenge? I can't remember if it was on Facebook or Instagram or something, but it was post the picture of yourself 10 years ago and sort of today.
I remember that.
It's like the 10-year challenge, and people were saying how it was basically teaching computer algorithms aging.
Yeah. Clever, innit?
And it was like, I wonder whether that was started by Instagram or Facebook or wherever it was that, we need all these people to do this.
Yeah. Well, they would though, wouldn't they? Because we are stupid enough to just be like, oh yeah, it's a challenge, you know, like do this silly dance on TikTok or take these 2 pictures, and it's just there and they've got it, and you know, nobody reads the small print, and you've literally signed your life and your face away. But there was quite a dark element to it as well, if that's not dark enough already. I'm probably going to mispronounce this, but Uyghurs or Uyghurs, they're a Chinese Muslim minority, and I know there's stuff in the news going off about it at the moment. But apparently, I don't know when this program was filmed, they were using this software because there's cameras everywhere in China apparently, specifically to pick out anybody that had the facial makeup that might determine that there were these Uyghurs, which is like, ugh, you know, I mean, I don't actually know what's going off in China with them at the moment, but it doesn't look good from what they're putting out on the news. But I don't want to get into that because that's like a whole thing. But it was a really interesting programme. And the other thing that I watched, which I am saving because I enjoyed it that much, when I really enjoy a programme. Oh, I've got something in my eye. It's not my eyeball. When I really enjoy a programme and there is a limited number of episodes, I like conserve them so that I can really sit and watch it and enjoy it, you know, rather than just banging some rubbish on. And I started watching Alice in Borderland. So I don't know if you know anything about it, if you've watched it. Do you know anything I've said?
I think you've mentioned it before, haven't you?
I have. I mentioned it in our D&D group chat. And it's on Netflix. It's an original series. It's Japanese. It's set in Tokyo. You can have it dubbed. I can't cope with dubbing. It's like it's my other half that has been watching it, and he told me to watch it, and he has it dubbed. And 3 seconds in, I'm like, ugh, I can't cope. Mouth, you know, voice doesn't work. No, bleh. Subtitles all the way. So I got rid of that. But you've got like 3 lads. They're like early 20s, just, you know, pissing about, being lads basically. And then everybody disappears. And it's like 28 days later, everybody's gone. You know, the streets are silent. Yeah. There is litter rustling on the roads. And I think they have like a minimal panic, and then they just start pissing about. And it's like, oh, we don't have to go to work. Woohoo, you know. But then on the side of, you know, I don't know what it's called, but in the middle of Tokyo, there's like this road crossing that there's a lot of pictures of. I probably sound like an idiot to somebody that knows what I'm talking about. Oh,
it's the crazy one with about 7 or 8 zebra crossings. And
all the traffic stops at exactly the same time, and then everybody can cross however they want. Rather than, you know, our system of close this bit, close that bit, and, you know, it's everything and then nothing. And there's up the side of one building, it just all lights up and it says, "Welcome players, the game will commence in a moment." And you're like, ooh. And I don't want to spoil it.
Shy by a crossing.
Shibuya? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, SHIB. What UA?
Yeah, I think it.
Forget it. I'll edit that
You
bit
got
out.
your glasses on. No.
I'm reading it off my phone and I still can't say it.
I think it's called Shibuya. I don't know. My pronunciation's awful. I do apologise. Yeah. So it's a bit like, I've only watched the first episode because, you know, saving it. It feels a bit like The Cube, which is something I'm going to get onto in a minute. Have you watched any of the Cube films? Please tell me that you have.
What do you reckon?
No.
See, the only Cube I can think of is that flipping game show.
No.
Is it Philip Schofield?
No. No. One of these days, I'm going to have to, like, lock you to a chair and make you watch a certain amount of films because you just don't know.
It's going to be like Clockwork Orange, where he's got his eyes peeled open and he can't blink.
Oh, you have seen Clockwork
Orange?
You will
watch Highlander and The
Cube.
No.
But it just looks so good, and I'll probably watch the second episode tonight. And they're sort of trapped in this game, basically, and I don't know what's going to happen because I ain't watched it yet. But I love all that, like, you know, Japanese cinema type stuff. I used to be mad into all the Japanese horror when I was younger, so It looks awesome. You have no time to do anything, so I think we create an extra day in the week and you watch these things, basically.
I'll just have to give up work.
That's a much better idea. What do you need to go to work for anyway? You know, just fuck work off.
Because
we'll do this.
This hobby is expensive.
Well, just, you know, I don't know. Sell your body, sell your soul, sell a kidney.
As long as they buy my body in weight, like the pick and mix, I'll be alright.
Oh God. But talking about the cube, segue. They're remaking. I don't know if they're just remaking the first, or they've remade the first. I don't know if they're doing the other two, because there's actually three. You've got Cube, which was the first one, Hypercube, which was the second film, and Cube Zero, which is actually a prequel. And they're all amazing. And they've been talking about, because it came out in 1997. It's like not a B movie as such, but a low budget Canadian horror-ish psychological film. And I think Hollywood have been yakking on about remaking it for a while because it was like really successful. Like when I was talking about cult films last week or the week before, this is totally a cult film, and it's just so good. It's sort of like almost a Japanesey horror idea anyway, that was made by a Canadian company in 1997, and now a Japanese firm are remaking it, and I can't wait to see what they do with it. So I don't know if they're just doing the first one. It's basically six, I think. They wake up in a room, and they have to, it's a cube room that they're in, you know, and they have to find their way out, and some doors they go through, and there's booby traps and what have you, and it's about their sort of mental state as well. They all start attacking each other, obviously. And I've seen the first one quite a few times, but I've not seen Hypercube in a while, or Cube Zero.
Yeah.
But incredibly good films, so I'd really like to see the Japanese version.
Maybe I should watch the original before that comes out.
That would be good. I don't know if it's on anything at the moment with regards to streaming services. I don't think it's on Netflix. I shall look into it. Other things I have heard this week. They're rebooting Games Master. Yeah, 1990s Games Master. What were he called? Sir Patrick Moore. Wonderful.
Dominic Diamond.
Dominic Diamond, yeah. I wonder what's happened to him. I should have Googled him. Cracking TV programme. There was a magazine, and it used to have a little book on the front with all cheat codes. I can't actually remember what happened in the programme. Did they review games, or were it just people playing it, sort of like...
I think it was a mixture of everything.
Yeah.
Like I can remember people playing games.
Yeah, so do I.
But I don't... I'll have to use. It's bad to be one on YouTube.
Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? You watch something so much, and then you actually try and think about the content of the programme. But I
remember they used to write in. And they'd ask the Games Master, how do I get past these double doors in this game? And then he'd be like, oh, well, you've got to go and do this and push this stone. And okay.
Yeah.
But
can you imagine doing that now? Now it's like, walk through. It's mad, isn't it?
I don't know whether... Do games manufacturers put that many cheats in? Like, Or do they allow like more of the mods than
I don't
an
know.
actual
I mean,
cheat?
cheats now aren't cheats that like we used to have in games. I mean, it literally you'd go to a place and press up twice, left, right, this, that, you know, you'd press a load of buttons in a series, and that's a very sort of a purposeful cheat. But now you don't. There aren't cheats like that, I don't think, is it? It's more like find this secret place and get this gear or whatever. I suppose it depends what sort of game you're playing. I mean, I only play a rather narrow band of game because I can't do anything fast. I need time to think. It's a baddie. Hang on a minute. Okay, that button does that. That button does that. I'm all ready. Patrick Stewart may be in line for replacing Patrick Moore. I don't know. That seemed like a bit more of a theory than an actual quantifiable rumour.
I was going to say, is he not a bit too highbrow for that?
I don't know. I don't think he is. I mean, he's quite funny. I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, it'd be quite good if never going to happen. Henry Cavill did it. he's a right nerd. He plays all sorts. He plays Warhammer. I know he's into PC gaming. When he has the time in between doing Hollywood movies. So I don't think Henry Cavill's going to be on Games Master, but you never know. You've got more chance of him being Patrick Stewart.
We shall have to wait and see.
And it would be hard to talk about what's in the news without talking about our dear old Gina. Oh, fuck's sake. You know what? What's her surname? Carano. Yeah, Gina Carano.
Yeah, I think so.
I've forgotten the bloody character name now. Who does she play in Mandalorian? Silence. How do we not know this?
Yeah, no, I've forgotten her name now.
Cara Dune, that's the one.
We'll edit this bit out as well. That was it.
We'll edit that. We've got to know, sound like we know what we're talking about. We're not just two old bastards that can't remember anything. I really liked Cara Dune, the character. She ticked a lot of boxes for me. It was a strong female lead that wasn't trying to get into the knickers of the male lead. Positive body type, not some, wafy little petite job. She was strong physically and mentally, and she's like a really good character. And from the rumour mill, it might be the end. I wouldn't mind them recasting her, to be quite honest. I'd rather keep the character. But I don't want to spend the next hour talking about cancel culture because it's just like gives me an headache.
Isn't she like one of the only survivors from Alderaan? The exploded planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I did see a news report yesterday that said they could actually introduce this other character, which was what's the name? Winter Selchu, the Alderaan sister of Leia Organa. Apparently, in one of the books or one of the comics, she was like an orphan, and the Organas adopted her.
Yeah.
And she was effectively Princess Leia's stepsister.
Okay, that would be an interesting way.
And she was, instead of being like a gun-toting princess, she was more into bang the microphone. She was more into computer hacking and stuff.
Yeah. Well, that would be quite interesting.
They're on about how he likes to bring obscure characters back from the books and comics.
Yeah.
But we shall have to wait and see.
Yeah. I mean, Gina Carano clearly isn't bothered. She's been banging on about a new job that she's got. I don't know what it is, a film. For anybody that's listening that has missed this somehow in the nerd world, she has been fired, although I don't think the word fired is correct because her contract with Disney to do The Mandalorian would have run out and they've just said that they're not going to rehire her. So I don't want to spend an hour talking about cancel culture, but freedom of speech, you can say what you like, but when you're representing a company or you have a voice that can influence other people, I think you have to monitor what you're saying at the very least.
Yes. Especially something like Star Wars where there's a lot of children.
Yeah. And her personal opinions on whatever, crack on. But if you're talking to an audience and even just representing a company, you are talking for that company. They don't want you spouting your mouth about stuff that might set people off. So, keep your trap shut and crack on. I think, I don't know. I don't know if I think she's an idiot or if she's done it on purpose. Maybe she didn't want to work for Disney, but they're like throwing out bloody series left, right and centre. And if people really like the character of Cara Dune, she could have had her own chuffing series or at least some joint thing like, the Boba Fett that's going off. She could have stayed, a main character. So...
Well, I mean, as well, if you get so into the Star Wars canon, you've got a whole career of just going to Comic Cons and being, I'm going to sign that picture.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the old boys from the 70s are still doing it now, and they played the smallest little walk-on part.
Yeah. I feel like she shot herself for a bit. Yeah. You said, it's a massive... Disney is massive. Star Wars is massive. Her career could have been massive, So maybe there's something that we don't know about and she wanted out anyway. I find that a bit hard to believe. But various things that she said are very easy to look up if you want to go and look at it. I can't be bothered. As a person, I'm not sure that we'd get on particularly, but I quite liked her as an actress, so that was enough. But I did see... let me find it because I want to read it. In light of the news earlier this week about Lucasfilm and the Mandalorian actress Gina Carano going their separate ways, Hasbro is cancelling most of their upcoming planned Cara Dune figures. Blah blah blah. There's one available or something, and they're cancelling new ones that are coming out, but some are already in the production process or whatever. So I think if you go on eBay
Instant
now...
collector items.
Yeah, so if you go on eBay now, they're like price of her toys is like shot up. How long that lasts, I mean, if they stay high or people just, get bored with it or whatever.
You never know with the toy market.
Yeah, so you should have bought one, Mr. Collector.
I don't... No. Wow, I've only got a small house, so I can't have all the toys. I've got toys up in the loft that I don't display.
Oh,
I can't because I spend the money. I spend the money on the toys.
One more thing I did want to mention. Yeah. Apparently she tweeted, "This is just the beginning. Welcome to the rebellion." Dunno.
And I also see that The Mandalorian was up for a Golden Globe.
Ooh.
At the 78th Annual Golden Globe Awards, it's nominated for the Best TV Drama.
Wow. I've said this before, and I genuinely feel, for me, that The Mandalorian has been the best thing to come out of the Star Wars universe in some time. I'm not a hater on the new films, but watching The Mandalorian, it just... I don't know. It spoke to me. And I loved it.
If we'd have got The Mandalorian as the new films, I'd have been happy.
Yeah. Although, just to continue talking about The Mandalorian, because why not? Mate, your boy Pedro Pascal, he's just taken a job. The Last of Us, they're making that into a TV series. I've not actually played the game. I do own it. I've just chuffing got round to it. And he's taking the male lead on the TV series for that. So when is he going to be filming The Mandalorian? You know?
Don't know.
Don't let me down, Disney. Don't let me down. Don't leave me.
I'm sure they know what they're doing.
Don't leave me. I don't mind watching everything else. I'm really excited for some of the other series.
You also have to remember, he only has to be there when he takes his helmet off.
Yes.
If he only takes his helmet off in one episode, fly out there, half an hour's work. Oh, look at me, fly home.
Can I... For
maybe a bit more than that, but...
I saved this picture that you sent me for anybody that's watching on YouTube, if you can see it. I've saved this on my phone. Can you see?
Oh, picture of my...
No.
Your screensaver now.
Yeah. Oh, it's so sad. That was a picture of a teary-eyed Din Djarin, for anybody listening to the podcast. If you've not watched The Mandalorian, what are you doing with your life? Go and watch it. Oh, dear me. I saw advertised the One Ring RPG, which I believe doesn't have anything to do with the current, like, D&D, Lord of the Rings affair. I think it's on Kickstarter. Let me bring the article up so I can...
Yeah, it is.
Have a look. It's from Free League. The guys that did Tales of the Loop and Alien as well. Ha.
Yes, it used to be Cubicle 7. And they lost they didn't lose the license. They had a licensing disagreement with Sophisticated Games.
I think you told me about this.
So Sophisticated Games own the rights for the Tolkien roleplay games.
Yeah.
And they then sold that to Cubicle 7 to do the game. I can't help but think how much of that is Cubicle 7 and Games Workshop going, you need to concentrate on Warhammer. So that put sort of some of their other games out of joint. So they gave up that license and Free League picked it up. Okay. And they seem to have done a lovely job of it from what I've seen.
Yeah. So I've just seen a bit of the artwork. Where does it say?
It's done by the same bloke, Martin Grip, that did Symbaroum.
Oh, okay.
Same artwork for that.
Yeah.
I mean, the Kickstarter was funded under 4 minutes.
Well, yeah. I mean, I knew it was going to be quick. I've never done a Kickstarter yet. I keep seeing things and I'm like, ooh, but then I get frightened and I don't do it. Chicken shit. I'm like,
I've only ever lost out on one thing. That was a comic book.
Oh, okay.
But it was only like £5, I think, so it was annoying, but
you've not lost.
Now I tend to only do the things that from like the big companies, Cubicle 7, Free. Do you know what I mean? Ones that I know.
Yeah.
Are quite good on product delivery.
Well, it says...
I mean, yeah, at the moment, I don't know if I said it, they've got a goal of £8,685.
That's not a lot of money, really.
No, but at the minute, they're sat on £668,876 raised.
Hello. Wow, they're definitely making it.
Which sounds like a shitload of money, but how much of that is people buying it instead of ordering it? Do you know what I mean? So people are doing a Kickstarter, but they might not have the sales once it's kickstarted.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I was tempted. But they do the Adventures in Middle-earth, which is the D&D 5e.
Yeah.
So they are supposed to be doing that again, but that's going to be in a few months. And I figured we've more chance of playing the 5e version than learning a whole new system.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem. It's like there is all these new games. Well, they're not all necessarily new. There's just lots of different games, and I genuinely want to like have a go and play them, but there just isn't enough hours in the day. And if it's something that's a brand new system, you've got to spend the time learning it, not just playing it. Whereas if it's 5e, at least you kind of know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And you can just, have a go. Like, there's the Star Wars 5e, isn't there? Which,
yes,
we've never even looked at.
But I've still got to learn Starfinder.
You need to give up your job.
I know. I can't help it.
You give up your job.
More people need to listen to this.
Let my child go and live in the wild. I'm sure they used to do that. Maybe the Vikings did it. Just go and be free. Look after yourself for a while. Come back when you're 18. Not really.
With a bear pelt on his back.
Talking about Vikings, we're on the rewatch series 4, and Björn's just come back after finding himself in the wild and killing a bear with his bare hands. It's terribly dramatic. I love that series. I love it. And I'm so glad that I've managed to squeeze in the time to rewatch it all before I watch the last series. But I digress. Dungeons and Dragons have a partnership with the Scouts. So there must be like a Scout badge.
Yeah, I saw that. I think they've sponsored the entertainer badge.
Oh, okay.
No, they didn't do it when I was a scout leader. Wait till I leave and then do D&D.
You can't get back into it.
Yeah,
you
so
won't have enough time.
They sponsored the entertainer badge, and they've kind of offered up, I think it's free starter sets to scout groups.
Yeah, it says on the Scouts website, get your free Dungeons and Dragons starter set. It's the proper starter set as well, with the big green dragon on the front of the box.
Yeah.
Groups will need to cover the postage costs for the physical starter set. Although you can have the PDF version for free. But yeah, I just thought that was like totally cool. I know things have changed obviously recently, and we talk about D&D a lot because we play it. But for a learning, a game to play for like younger kids to learn social skills and maths and God knows whatever the hell else, it's like fascinating, isn't it? So I think that's really cool. Très cool. You were looking at a different RPG, weren't you?
My Alice is Missing.
Yeah, tell me more about that.
So, Alice is Missing is a silent RPG made by Hunters Entertainment.
Excited all at the same time.
So, you are, I think, teenage friends of the girl Alice that goes missing. Mm-hmm. And because most teenagers now don't talk, they text. The whole game is played via text. And there's there's a 90-minute timer on YouTube that plays background music, and it's got a timer on. And at certain times in the game, you draw a card, and then you do what it says on that card.
Did you ever play Atmosphere? VHS board game.
Is that the video game? Yes.
Yeah.
No, I never played it.
Yeah. Yeah, you put your VHS in, you've got your board game, which you're trying to play in the dark, therefore you can't see the goddamn board, but whatever. And you move in your bit, and then this bloke screams at you through the telly. But carry on.
But yeah, so you play this game via text. You have a group text chat, and then you text each other separately.
That sounds so fun.
There are playthroughs. There are playthroughs on YouTube you can watch, and it just looks absolutely manic when there's like 5 or 6 text messages, just like ping, 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 ping.
Yeah, I can imagine.
You can play it. You can buy the actual game. It's about £15 for the actual game, but you can also get it on Roll20.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's one I'd like to play in person.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds like.
But they also recommend that just YouTube. Alice is missing.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, that looks fun.
Oh, see, this is it. There's just
Ben
all these
Eden's
games
sitting around not speaking.
Well, when you go to a bloody restaurant, well, not that anybody's going to restaurants, but when you could go to restaurants, whoever you're going to the restaurant with, you're all sat there staring at your phones. Nobody's actually having a goddamn conversation anymore, really. So
that was my bugbear of always going on a date to the cinema, because I hate talking in a movie.
Yes.
So it'd be like, oh, we'll go to the cinema. No, because I'm not going to talk to you for 2.5 hours. That's a crap date.
I sort of agree, sort of not agree, because you can go for a drink first, so a bit of conversation. Then you can go to the cinema, so that sort of avoids any silences, and then you can go for something to eat after, or go for another drink. And then you've got something to talk about. In it.
Why did you pick that film? It was shit.
Well, when me and my partner first started dating, we went to see Mission Impossible something or other. I can't remember. I wasn't really interested, but he wanted to see it, so I was like, oh, all right then.
I was going to say, in the date or the film?
Oh, well. I'm still with him, so it can't have been that bad.
I'll edit that bit, I'll never know.
Nah, he'll listen to it. Hello. Oh dear. But yeah, I saw this article talking about RPGs, the best tabletop RPGs of 2020. And it's literally what I've just said. I just keep seeing all these games that I want to play, but the depth, the variation of RPGs. There's just so many different kinds of games out there. It's the first one that comes up in this list, and it's from a magazine called Game Informer. I mean, I'm assuming it's just a digital magazine rather than an actual hard copy. But there's an RPG called BFF, and there's no GM, and it's you play tween girls. Tween. Does that? What's a tween? Is that 13? No, tween. What's a tween? Have you got a tween? How old's your daughter? Teenagers are 13.
She's 15. I think she's 20.
Oh. The less said, the better. Swiftly moving on.
No, I didn't put tweenies.
No, that's a kids' program, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tween
is short for teenager.
Oh. No, tween with a twa.
Tween.
Like twat.
Tween is a word used to represent the age before a teenager, but older than child. Thus, younger than 13, but older than... Well, it depends on who you ask. 9 or 10, typically.
Okay, whatever. Whatever. But yeah, you play a tween. You take on the role of tween girls as they navigate friendship, moments of discovery, and the small, quiet moments that shape our emotional selves when we're young. And you have to like give each
Everything's
other.
a drama.
Yeah, yeah. Did you remember? Well, I don't know. You might do. There was a game when I was a teenager, a tween perhaps. Oh crap! What were it called? It had a pink phone, and you had to try and figure out who your pretend boyfriend was or something. Dream phone, that's what it was called. I never owned it because I never owned such things. Yeah, I've still not got over not having a Mr. Frosty.
15?
No. When I was 15, I was like being a bad girl. So no, it was a lot younger than that. I was probably tween, like 9 or 10, 11 at a push.
Right.
I
was probably at the pub.
Were you 47?
So I wouldn't know a game with a pink phone. Nearly.
Oh, my laugh has degraded. I'm turned into Muttley. But yeah, you used to have this pink phone and you'd like, I don't know, get your fake boyfriend's phone number and dial up and, hi, this is Brad, etc, etc. But something else on this list. Where's it gone now? I'm like scrolling through as I
I've just loaded it up.
Where is it?
So you got BFF, Cyberpunk Red. This
is the one that I wanted to look at.
Dishonored.
It's called, I may pronounce this wrong, Morkborg. I don't know how Swedish. I think Mork is Swedish. It's got the 2 dots above it.
Morkborg is.
Yeah.
It looks amazing. It's a bit like an art house project, but it's like a black metal RPG.
It just looks cool.
It is honestly like an art book.
Oh wow!
You can literally have some real black death metal images on one page, and then you turn the page and it's big bright pink lettering.
Oh, that looks so cool. I think oh yeah, it says Stockholm, so yeah, it's Swedish.
Yeah.
It just looks awesome.
It's one I have looked at.
What does it say?
And I know that.
Decidedly adult in both its content and presentation, the game presents just barely enough rules to get by, offering up explanations for character creation, combat and magic, but leaving plenty of room for interpretation. Where's the other bit? Ultimately, you're controlling doomed characters for whom certain death is perhaps one of the less brutal things that might come for them. And I thought, I'll have a go at that.
I think one of the rules or pages is about how you end the world. And then I think it says at the very end, it says that you have to then ceremoniously take this book out into the garden and set fire to it with you all stood around it.
Oh, God.
I don't own it, but it is on my list of
ones
to add to the collection.
It just sounds
really cool. It's not overly dear, I don't think.
Not. Don't say how much it is on this list, but I saw that and I thought, oh, you know what? That sounds like a cracking game. And I think it's a couple of episodes ago I was talking about an RPG that was a Kickstarter that I really liked the look of, but I didn't end up getting. And it's actually on this list, so that sort of solved my brain freeze on that one. Vaesen? V-A-E-S-E-N.
That's a Free League one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Swedish horror role-playing.
Nordic horror role-playing. Yes. So it seems like it might have a little bit of a Call of Cthulhu vibe, but it's Nordic, which, again, I've constantly twittering on about how I like my Nordic stuff.
Tales from the Loop and that is based on an artist, isn't it?
Yeah.
There is I can't remember his name now, but he's like a Swedish or Norwegian artist that does
Johan
folk art for
Egerkrans. The Swedish illustrator and author Johan Egerkrans. Apologies for the pronunciation. But yeah, they just look so cool.
Yes, it is on my. That's another one on my list to add.
What to just buy?
I don't know how much
pretend you're going to
playability.
play it.
You've told me you want to play it, so.
Oh yeah, but
that gives me an excuse to buy it.
This is where I can try and put some pressure on you to find an extra couple of hours a week, so that we can play games and record them or stream them. Yeah. Let's do this thing. You're like, oh my god, woman, I've got to work. Hey?
No, but we need to get more professional at this side of it, and then I won't have to edit it.
All right, boss. Are you saying I'm not professional? Huh?
Well, I haven't tallied up all the I've took out yet.
I can't help it. That's just the way that I talk. You know what? Right, I was having a bit of a revelation.
Am I editing this bit?
You don't have to. I sound like a dick anyway, so I don't care. I forgot what I was going to say now. Oh, I had a revelation. You know, like we were talking about, like the and why I constantly say when I talk, and you've got bored of editing them because I do it too much.
I know the shape of them. I can just look at your speech pattern and go, "There's another. Yep, there's another one."
Oh my god, stop laughing. I apologise. I just do it. I'm not good at it. I can't keep laughing at myself. But I thought I'm
saving them all, and then there's a Christmas special. You're gonna have an hour of ums. I'm not even gonna be in it. It's just gonna be like
But you could put like some banging techno track behind it and release it as a song and make millions. But I was saying, because I used to work in a prison and we got taught how to talk to people in a specific way, so it sounded like you were interested when you basically didn't give a shit. And I thought it was something from that. But then I got a bit deeper and I thought maybe it's just a way of me constantly talking so nobody can butt in. I don't know either, but I do it and I apologise, but I can't unstop it. So, I did have a point. RPGs, yeah, they're great. We want to play games. I want to play more games. I will be a DM one day. Maybe that's something that we could do. I've got the oh crap, what's it called? Stranger Things and Dungeons and Dragons starter set. The physical copy and the Roll20 copy. I bought it at the beginning of lockdown thinking that I was gonna be a DM or something, and then I thought, no, I don't be a dick.
Moment of madness.
Oh yeah. But I do own it, so maybe I can try out being a DM on you. We could do that one day, because that's quite a nice little simple, because I think it's kind of aimed at kids a little bit anyway, so I'm saving it for a few years when my little boy's grown up, but might do that. But I think that sort of wraps up all the main stuff that I have been looking at. I don't know if there's else you've been looking at this week.
No, not really.
I will finish on this, and it's actually a story I found a couple of weeks ago, but it didn't seem appropriate to bring it up at the time because we were obviously talking about something else. Put my teeth in. Texas officials apologise after Chucky missing child alert. Chucky being the doll from the films. Mm-hmm.
I know you said Toy Story then. What was the film? Child's Play.
Child's Play, yeah, that's the one. which my mother let me watch when I was far too young. I don't know what she thought it was, but she clearly didn't look at the rating, and I was probably
I
pulling a
got
sickie
I
or
got
something.
told off for letting my daughter watch Pirates of the Caribbean when she was 3,
Huh? What
and
for?
she hated it because all the pirates become these undead zombies. And then she had nightmares, and then the missus was like, "Why did you let her watch that? It's a Disney film. It's for kids." Oh, it's because it's a
Yeah.
12, isn't it?
I can see that. I mean, so my son's 4, and I try to watch things first, because sometimes 12s are 12s because of themes rather than like physical scenes. So if there's a theme of, I don't know, something a bit more adult, which clearly he's not going to get, but the film itself is entertaining, I don't mind him watching it. Coincidentally, I think we were trying to figure out what rating The Mandalorian was a while ago, and that I think is a 14 plus, which is I've not seen before. If you go on the Disney Channel, I'm sure it says 14 plus. It was definitely more than a 12 because I was like, huh? Star Wars, whatever it's called, A New Hope, the original one, that's a U, but quite frankly, there's bits in that I don't want my little one seeing. You see Luke's uncle and aunt, when they're all like corpseified and burnt out.
They're all barbecued.
Yeah, and it's a U. And on this subject, when we watched E.T.
And you get his
a couple
arm
of
cut
weeks
off.
ago. Yeah, well, that's you don't see it out though, so I don't mind that so much. But E.T., he says, what does he say? I think he says shit twice. And there's another couple of swear words, and that's a U. And I'm like, I don't mind an adult theme because he can't understand it, but don't start swearing because he's a chatterbox and he's going to repeat it. He thinks bloody is like really naughty. He's like, oh, Daddy said bloody. He's really naughty. But
Has he sworn yet?
He's only said bloody. It was copying, I think.
Because it's really hard when they swear and you're laughing inside, but you're trying to discipline them for saying bollocks. I think Honey's first swear word was
bollocks. See, that's funny. I don't massively mind him saying bloody. I've told him it's a naughty word, but they say it in Harry Potter, so and you can say chuffing till cows come home. I'm not bothered about that. But yeah, anyway, this story.
That's regional swearing.
Yeah, I don't really count chuffing as swearing though. No, chuffing hell. If anything, it's like a word I can use so I don't say fuck, quite frankly. Say, oh, fucking hell. I can say, oh, chuffing hell. And it's alright and it gets me out.
Is it chuffing or chuffing?
Well, I suppose if you were going to spell it, it would be chuffing. But nobody says chuffing up north, do they? They say chuffins.
An adjective, informal Northern English, used for emphasis or as a mild expletive.
Yeah.
The whole chuffing world's gone mad.
Chuffing hell. I don't give a chuff. No, I don't count it as swearing. But yeah, so
chuffing,
right.
A popular term used South Yorkshire, a less crude term used in place of fuck.
Yeah, precisely. But getting back to this story, trying to get back to tell you the main bit. Officials from the Texas Department of Public Safety have apologised after sending out an emergency message featuring the horror character Chucky. An Amber Alert message used to warn of missing children was sent out featuring the Child's Play villain along with his fictional child, Glenn. Screenshots of the message show the suspect was listed as a doll dressed in denim overalls wielding a large knife. Now, I don't know how these child alert things work in America, so I don't think we have anything like that in the UK, do we?
No, I've had them for hurricanes in Florida for bad weather.
Okay.
Where it
do
just
you
sort
get
of pings
a
up and
message
it
to your
says,
phone
"Oh."
or something?
Yeah, it's just like a text alert, and it'd be like,
Yeah.
ping,
So
seek shelter, severe weather warning.
they've
I'm
sent
assuming
this
it'd be
out.
something like that.
Yeah, they've sent this out with a picture of Chucky saying he's a missing kid, wielding a knife. Oh my good God. Obviously it's a mistake and and we humbly apologise. Somebody's having a fucking laugh, aren't they?
Was there actually a missing kid, or was the whole thing...
No.
No, and that's
No,
all
there
right
wasn't a
then.
missing kid. No. It were just a load of our rubbish.
Just a false alarm.
Yeah, I suppose somebody's testing it, aren't they? And they've not realised that it's gone live. Maybe, what do they call it? Interns. Interns been in charge of sending messages out, and they thought, I'll have a crack at this, see how it works. Dink, and it's gone to everybody's phones. So, who knows? So I think that about wraps us up for this evening. I hope you have enjoyed our blatherings. And if you are watching us on YouTube, I hope this video makes it onto YouTube and I have set it up properly. If you've liked the video, please like it. And if you want to watch more of our videos, please press subscribe. And then you won't miss
smash that subscribe button or something.
That's what they say. Like and subscribe.
All them kids.
Yeah,
hit the bell.
Hit it. Do this. Press that. I'm 20 and I know what I'm talking about, and I'm 40 and I ain't got a clue.
Well, I'm double 20, so I doubly know what I'm chuffing talking about.
Chuffing hell. Chuff sick. Right then. Thank you very much. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your weeks, and we shall see you this time next week. TTFN, ta-ta for now. You can say bye now.
Cheers. Thanks for watching.
See you later.
Catch you next week.
Bye. You've got to wave now. This is on video. It's back to front. Bye.